started. Just what has this been like for you, this experience?
Yeah, I mean, because of the guys that are in that room, the way they work, the way they approach their jobs, I would say for me it was an excellent camp. It was fun to coach. There was great competition. There was great, community conversations about football. Guys just working together, and that's the truth. I know that may not seem the case when guys are competing, but that's how these guys handled it. They were professional. They competed. Everybody was just trying to get better and learn. So for me, it was as fun as I've had in a training camp around that competitive environment.
What have you learned about Baker that should maybe surprise you?
I don't know if surprise is the right word, because, I've heard things about, his competitive nature and, his work ethic and those things. When you sit front row for it and you see the guy in there at, 5:15, 5:30 in the morning, every morning, not hit and miss, but every morning, when you see like his dedication to learning the offense, his dedication to his craft, whether it be his mechanics or running the offense, not surprised, but feeling pretty good about it and happy that we got that kind of guy. So those were some of the things that certainly you take notice of, and you take notice of them quick with that guy.
At one point, you guys had 4 quarterbacks all at different points in this offense. Meaning, Sam was here for OTAs and minicamp along with PJ. You had a rookie, and you had Baker come in a little bit before training camp. How did you guys delegate your time specifically with Baker, considering he was at a different starting point than those other quarterbacks I mentioned?
Yeah. So what you do is, when training camp starts, you start from the ground floor. So you go back to this install number 1, the same thing you did in the spring. Obviously, for the guys that were in the spring, they went through it twice. They went through it 2 times in the OTAs and throughout the phase 1. So they've been through it twice. So this is their 3rd time. For Baker, it was his 1st time. And then you said Matt, the rookie. So what you do is you meet all together. You're going from phase 1. You're going from the beginning, but then you're also picking and choosing times when you can get with these guys individually. And for Bake, it's a little bit different, because for him, it's like, okay, what do you want to talk about? What do you want to look at on film? Where do you need help? Because he's been through these offenses. He's learned, he's been in the NFL. So for him, he can pinpoint, hey, can we go through this? This would help me. Hey, I'm a little gray in this area. Can you help me with this? So that's how you meet with him. With Matt, you just go back and repeat it because it's the first time hearing it. So you can go right back to the beginning of the day and hit it again with him. And you just find the time. It could be early morning. It could be after meetings end at night. And that's what you do. And fortunately, like I said, in that room with these quarterbacks, all of them really want to be good. So they'll give you the time. Right. They'll spend the extra time. They were not in a hurry ever to get out of the building, get back to the dorms, whatever. They wanted to work. They want to be good. They want to be better. When you got that in that room, you got a chance.
Does the quarterback room need that edge that Baker brings, though, that edginess, I guess, about him? And on top of that, what do you expect week 1 facing this former team, knowing what you know about him?
Yeah, I think the one thing that I said to you guys was when you asked about did anything surprise you, I said not surprised, but things that impressed me. And number 1 was his professionalism. So knowing what I know thus far and what I know of him since July, whatever, I would tell you that he'll approach that week with a very professional attitude. I'm going to prepare myself to play quarterback to win a football game for the Carolina Panthers. He will not make it about Baker Mayfield. I know that. He'll make it about winning for the Carolina Panthers and playing the best at the quarterback position that he can. That's what I know about that game.
There's obviously a mental rep side of this, and like when I'm envisioning you guys all meeting, that's that part of it, specifically with Baker. How much of this was a footwork and on the field thing that whether it was you or somebody else had to spend time with him on the side, considering guys like Sam had already got those reps, like you said, in the spring?
Yeah, again, the footwork in this offense with this, with the way we run things here, it's so integral to playing the quarterback spot, and so tied into our offense. You work it every day. So it's not that you had to do extra with those guys, because they got it every day. It's 20 minutes of special teams. We're on the footwork. It's just pounded in over and over again until it just becomes second nature. And fortunately, Baker had a little bit of experience in that type of system. So I don't want to say it came easily to him, because it didn't. He worked at it. But I thought just the time we got on task every day was what we got done and what we needed to get done.
What's he got to improve in now over the next few weeks?
Yeah, I think like everybody at this point in the season, what you continue to improve with is understanding our concepts, how they relate to different coverages, and making those decisions gathering information pre-snap, making the decisions post-snap when the ball, is snapped, and just going through it time and time again, where it just becomes, hey, I know what I'm looking at, I know what I'm expecting. You just keep growing in that way. Some of it's just still verbiage, where the words still they're coming to him, and he's working at it, but it's a language, and he's going to continue to grow in that way. And I think the footwork as well. That's never going to stop here with any of the quarterbacks, not just Baker, with any of them. Like, we're going to continue to work footwork. We're going to always talk about it. We're going to critique it, in practice, in games, in drills. That will never change for any of the quarterbacks here.
Sean, how much you know about Eason, and is it a little unusual when you get somebody who's just of a different physical build than the other quarterbacks around him?
No, not necessarily. I wouldn't say it's different. Like, I've had different size guys in the room before. What I know about him, coming out, looking at him for the draft, obviously great size, good athleticism for his size, and a very strong arm. So did some good things in college, and looking forward to working with him. Glad he's here, and he's been here about 3 hours. So, we'll get going with it and see where it goes. But those are the things off the top of my head that I can tell you about him.
One more thing on the footwork. Baker's been through this a handful of times now, new offense. I know you say you're drilling it all the time. Is that one of the more difficult challenges for a quarterback, to retrain their feet like that over and over again?
It can be. If you're coming in with a completely different way of doing things, in terms of your footwork, it can be the biggest challenge. Like I said, with him, there's some things that we do with our footwork that he was familiar with, that he had done some of the things. So as much as it still is a challenge, it wasn't like, completely foreign to him. But yeah, it can be that way. But for him, he had a little bit of background, and with, like I said, with the way he worked and attacked his job, he's growing in that way every day, getting better every day.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate your details.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sean.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you.
right. Take care.